Most of us remember the childhood struggle of having one family computer in the freezing hallway or in the kitchen, constantly fighting over the phone line while trying to download something on LimeWire. If someone called your mobile phone, you said, "Call me back after 8 PM when my 3 minutes kicked in." But then, there was that one friend, the rich friend, the one whose house felt like it came straight from the year 3000. And today we're stepping inside the 90s and 2000s mega home. From gadgets that felt like you were in a sci-fi movie to snacks that made you a social god. Let's see if you were the one hosting the parties or if you had that rich friend. In the 90s and 2000s, some kids didn't even have a computer, but the rich kids, they had a dedicated computer room, a mini kingdom. You could smell the warm, slightly staticky monitor, hear the speakers buzzing 5 seconds before a message arrived, along with the T1 line humming in the background. No get off the internet, I need to use the phone here. You could stay up until 3 AM on Roller Coaster Tycoon or MSN in total privacy. And games consoles, when it was release day for the N64, PlayStation or Dreamcast, it wasn't your one big present for the year, each one was a guarantee. And when there was a new game released, they walked in from school and it was there. GoldenEye, Tomb Raider, FIFA, all waiting for you. When they got bored of the games consoles, you just moved to the air hockey table or full-sized arcade cabinet. Weekends weren't for hangouts, they were high-stakes tournaments where the rest of us were spectators in their empire. Of course, all gaming required fuel and not just any snacks. You couldn't survive a 48-hour gaming marathon on breadcrumbs. Enter the snack drawer. Most of us had one biscuit or had to negotiate for a packet of fruit by the foot, but the rich kid, a curated museum of Dunkaroos. Still warm, yet soft store-bought cookies, Twinkies, Gushers, Shark Bites, and more. And the ultimate showpiece, Viennetta ice cream. The silver tray with the perfect layers, that satisfying crack when the knife hit the chocolate. Pure magic, pure rich kid marketing. Did your house ever have a Viennetta? Comment below, because this is the test. Drinks, will forget your lukewarm tap water, forget the official sports drinks of the 90s. The fridge was a wall of glass bottles from Sobe, Snapple, Orbitz, Clearly Canadian, Gatorade, all perfectly chilled. Every sip felt like a disposable income, and yes, the rich kid never had to ask for a refill. And speaking of futuristic, the kitchen wasn't just for snacks. The fridge, hidden in polished oak, blended seamlessly into the cabinets. Water and ice dispenser? Check. Hot water tap? Check. Trash bin? This was a velvety smooth drawer. This wasn't a kitchen, it was a showroom. And yes, Mom had a 13-inch TV VCR combo on the counter to watch the morning news while you had an espresso from a machine that looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie. Even the appliances had so much flair. Popcorn maker? Check. Soda stream? Check. Everything screamed growing up without the effort. And meanwhile, the rest of us were still arguing over who got the last Oreo and surgically splitting it 3 ways. And the bedrooms? Well, just wait until you see these. Every bedroom had a TV and VCR player or a plasma with a DVD player in it, along with a wall for the latest movies. Boxing or WWF pay-per-view, just click buy, no questions asked. Bose surround sound system in every room meant your music wasn't just noise, it filled the space. Rattling laserdiscs while you read the CD booklet of the latest album releases, because there were no LimeWire viruses in this house. And meanwhile, the rest of us were fighting over the lounge remote or trying to take WWF on VHS. Lava lamps lit up the room, inflatable chairs helped to fill it, while you stared at the aquarium whilst playing on your Game Boy Color. But the ultimate freedom? Their private phone line. No parents or siblings listening in, no call me back after 8 PM, no get off the internet, I need to use a phone, no limitations. Just late night whisper conversations to your childhood crush on your own number, while the rest of us begged for permission to even talk to friends. And the wealth, well, that didn't stop at the back door. You could spot the rich kid before they even said a word. While the rest of us were wearing hand-me-down clothes or whatever survived the wash, they were a walking billboard for the elites. We're talking Ralph Lauren polos with the collar pops, Tommy Hilfiger jumpers that just never seemed to fade, or those Abercrombie Fitch hoodies that just smelled like the entire shop. That Lacoste crocodile that just sat perfectly on the chest, never peeling, never crooked. It wasn't just a logo, it was a membership card. And then there was the smell. Most of us lived in a permanent locker room cloud of Lynx Africa. A scent that's basically the official sponsor of the 90s and 2000s teenage years. But the rich kid, they didn't spray in the changing rooms, they just arrived smelling expensive. It was a scent of Ralph Lauren Polo Sport, CK1 or Hugo Boss. It was a clean, crisp utility room smell that let you know their clothes were dried in the machine, not on the radiator in the kitchen. Even the accessories were a flex. While you were making that aggressive ripping sound like your Velcro roll to buy a bag of crisps, they'd pull out a silent leather bifold, whilst they were wearing their proper Psycho or Takahura watch whilst you were wearing your Casio. Holding a branded Jansport or North Face backpack instead of that free one your dad got with work. You didn't need to ask if they were a rich kid because the silence of their wallet just told you everything. And then you went around to their house and suddenly everything made sense. But if you really wanted to see the gap between the haves and the have-not, you just had to wait for a birthday. For the rest of us, a birthday was a few mates, some bowling, or a sleepover with a stack of Domino's pizzas. But for the rich kid in the mid-2000s, they were living an episode of MTV's Super Sweet 16. This wasn't a party, it was a festival. We're talking hired nightclubs, professional DJs, and a guest list that felt more like a VIP gala. While we were hoping for a new pair of trainers, the rich kid was waiting for the grand reveal. The moment the music stopped, the smoke machine hissed and they were presented with a brand new car, usually a BMW 3 Series or a Mini Cooper. The invitations alone were a flex. They didn't just tell you on MSN, they handed out custom printed velvet touch cards in the hallway like they were royal decrees. And the goodie bags, they didn't have a whistle and a piece of cake, they had iPod Nanos, high-end makeup or branded hoodies. You'd leave the party feeling like you'd just been to a celebrity's wedding. If you had a trampoline, you were the social monarch of the streets. Backyard playhouse, full doors, windows, cost a second mortgage. It was basically a castle for the 90s and 2000s rich kid. And when you got bored here, you shot hoops in your freestanding basketball hoop or relaxed in the jacuzzi. In the front yard, there was always a huge fountain, which was really impressive, but useless at the same time. Toys stayed in a dedicated playroom. Imagination had its own postcode. And then you went to the bathroom. This was pure art. You stepped onto the warm underfloor heating, sat on a fabric-covered seat and washed your hands with decorative soap. But don't you dare touch those show towels. Luxury so subtle that you didn't even know how to appreciate it until you left and realised your own toilet seat was just normal and your bathroom didn't even have a mat. And now, well, the part of the house that made you feel like the future had already arrived. Robots. Before Roombas, there was the Tribalite robot Hoover, beeping, bumping into walls and hoovering up everything in sight. And the truly elite, well, they had the Sony Aibo robot dog. No mess, just blinking lights and a whole lot of style. Looking back, growing up wasn't about gadgets or endless snacks, it was about freedom. The freedom to stay up late on your own private line, to raid the snack drawer without asking, and feel like the world was yours, even if it was just for a Saturday. And let's be honest, that robot Hoover probably did less cleaning up than your own dog ever did. So tell me, did your childhood have any of this rich magic, or were you just staring through the window at someone else's Viennetta? Comment below because I want to hear your stories. And if you love stepping inside the 90s and 2000s mega home, then hit subscribe, because there's even more nostalgia coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss it.